All right, good afternoon, traders. This is AJ Trader of Awesomecallstrading.com. I am the moderator, one of the main moderators in the room. We have 6 or 7 of some of the most great moderators in our room. I want to welcome you to today's webinar dated November 27, 2018. I want to welcome aboard also the moderators in the room, Janny Moore, Raphael, Dave the Trader, Fire Trader, B Trades, and of course, Dark Side Trader. Collectively, we are just killing it this morning. Today, we had a nice morning action, came to work, prepared to go, and we were money right out of the gate. As you can see on my Twitter feed at AJTrader7, right out of the gate, certain traders just made money from the opening bell, and you can follow my feed at AJTrader7 to see their entries, exits, what they're looking for, and what they got. Some traders made 2, 3, 4, 500. Some traders made over $1,000 just right at the opening. So it was a really fun day today, and so I would like to share with you some of the great plays that we did, and I think you'll enjoy them. These pre-market list was done before the market opened. I was able to spend about 5 to 7 minutes before the bell rang and went over each one. Our number one pick was Annie today. Annie. We did BKE, Roku, Save, WB, Square, YY, Loco, Cracker Barrel, Netflix, NVIDIA, Tesla, and ABMD. These are all written down before the market opens, spelled out, entries, exits, and how to play the stock, and what to look for before the opening. So let's take one of our fun ones that we did today. We did quite a few, but we traded over about 150 to 200 points. I'm going to start with Cracker Barrel. I warned everyone in the chat room yesterday that we would be playing this today. Cracker Barrel is one of my favorites on earnings. And usually what happens on Cracker Barrel, a lot of you don't know, and I'm going to kind of teach you. This is something new for all of you. Kind of my little hidden gem secrets that I've known. Cracker Barrel will always give pretty much, for the most part, give positive numbers. But whenever they give them, the stocks always decline. It's just something the investors do. And I think it's a way for new investors to come in and buy the stock at a cheaper price. And I always anticipate that. Stock closed at $175. They had stellar numbers. They actually had upgrades on the stock. And so what I did is I told everyone, listen, the stock's going to probably most likely pull at the open to the 170 area. When it hits anything in the 170, if you see 170.50, 170.70, 170, 170.25, scale into the stock. Start taking a quarter to an 8 position. The stock will rebound back to 180. That's a 10-point trade that I'm already assuring you you're going to make. It's up to you now to execute the trade. Okay? So let's take a look at the stock. Cracker Barrel. As you can see, CBRL. As you can see, the stock actually pre-market gapped up in the morning because of the earnings came out, but then it pulled that down, and it was only gapping up 3 to 4, and that's when I told the traders, watch for the 170 area to go long. Once 170 area came, take it and slam it, and you'll go to 180. As you can see, the stock hit 170.93, and the stock proceeded to go up to 183. That is a $13.13 trade on Cracker Barrel. And the reason is because investors will buy it up. They like the stock. But before they do that, they always tend to bring it down before they go up. And even if their earnings are stellar. Now, if the earnings were horrible, the stock would actually probably open up even and then just slide all day down to 160. But that was not the call today because the earnings were good. The call was to buy at 170 area and rocket it back up. So, pretty nice trade. Another trade we did today was Loco. Now, you're going to probably look at this one and just, again, ask yourself, how does a room know this? Well, again, we've been trading in this room for 5 years. I've personally been trading for 15. Some of the mods in here have been trading probably even longer than me. But for the most part, I'm going to teach you something, especially you new moderators that have rooms for the first time this year and you want to keep your subs. So you want to sound like you're important, like you know what you're talking about. I'm going to show you something. When you get a stock like Loco, and you can see from about a month ago, you can see that the stock was being bought up into a potential FDA approval. And then earnings came and they were disappointing. And then once the FDA approval came in, basically in the eyes of Awesome Calls Trading, it is a short and nothing more. And the reason is local has a tendency to actually disappoint investors and not make them happy. And it's one of the rare stocks out there that really get hurt when they get any kind of FDA approval. Even on primary endpoints, they'll get a move, but within a 2 to 3 day period, the move will get sold off. And local, we called for a short today on the stock, and I will show you how it played out. It actually ended up getting a hell of a lot more than we expected, but the call was local right here. Receives FDA approval. FDA approval in act means what? Means a short. Stop gapping up 6 points. I would take a short at 156, 158. Gap it down to 150 and under. And there will be a massive sell-off. Look for the bottom curl. Wait for it to come. The more it pulls, better the gap. Okay, so now I want to take it and show you how it worked out. It's pretty intense here. All right, here is your short area, 156 to 158. Scale in short. And you can see it hit 150 in a blink. And once it came, it was on. There has been no buyers saying this. And a key to this was we have a famous person that we listen to. I have a scan that I use. It's called Newswatch or Newsware, which I'll be providing free for annual subscribers for the entire year. And if you punch up, you will see that there was a lot of content from different analysts. And the one that stood up for me was Piper. And Piper made a comment, there was no surprise on the label with the FDA, which to me tells me it's to short the stock. And that's what we did. It was a very good trade. All right. So the next trade that we want to talk about today is BKE. I know none of you have really heard of BKE, and you probably never trade it. But in our room, we tend to find these type of plays, and we like them because what happens is the stocks normally will gap. When they get hit on earnings, they'll gap down, and then they'll get a nice pre-market pull. And normally what happens on these type of trades is we end up getting what we call a short cover squeeze. In other words, if you pull up the last 5 to 10 days, you will see a bunch of shorts in the stock sitting up here between 20 and 21. Now, obviously the stock is down over 2 points on mixed earnings. Earnings weren't a disaster, but they also weren't really great. And so when you get that, you get what they call a short squeeze. And shorts are going to want to cover. So these traders are going to want to cover the morning action. And usually I will anticipate between a 19 plus to 20, $19.50 to $20 push at the open. And so what I did is I prepared everybody in the room to look for the pop at the open. Do not short the open. However, if the stock does pull, don't be afraid to go long and add to your position because the stock will short cover. I cannot stress that enough in the room. And so I want you to see how the trade worked. And here was the call on BKE. It was our number, I believe our number 2 pick. I would nibble along at 18.50. I'd give it room in case it goes to 17. Add to it. Stock will go to 19 plus, possibly 20. I will run it with you and have some fun. Okay. So as you see on the stock, ding, 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 ding. And within the first 3 minutes of trading, ding, 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 ding. Not only did you get 25.40 cents, here's your 18.50 entry. It hit $20 a share. It hit 19 in 2 minutes. A minute later, 20. And that is how you make $1,000 on 1,000 shares in 3 minutes of the morning action. And you're done for the day. You don't have to do anything for the rest of the day. You're done. 500 a day, 1,000 a day, 250 a day. You could took 250 shares and made $400 in 3 minutes. With your risk buying power at 250 shares, $4 grand. This was all laid out pre-market. Next trade, Annie. Annie, call it whatever you want it. This was just a great play this morning. And what made it special was just the overall guidance in the room between B Trades, Jenny, Raphael, some of the really great small cap traders in here. And a lot of traders don't like to trade small cap stocks because they really don't get them. And then, of course, they're the ones that everybody chases. And Annie was, we don't chase anything in the room. We have a plan. We know how to attack it. We know what we're looking for. So today, as Annie was in play yesterday, it hit 850, 870 yesterday. So this morning, it gapped down and it actually pulled. So this morning, I made it very clear as the stock was moving in pre-market, as you can see, it was moving in pre-market right here. I made a decision that the stock would probably small pop pull, but do not go long unless the stock hits 680 to 690. Now, again, I cannot stress how we play these. I want you to see how we did it. All right. You're going to first go to do a quick pop, then you're going to get a pull, you're going to get a bottom curl, but you cannot buy the stock unless it hits a certain area. That will give me indication I'm going to flag and break out. So I want you to see how I wrote it. Okay. Stock gapping up 80 cents with decent volume. Would love a quick push to 7, pulled it back down, and you can see right here, do not buy the stock unless it hits 680 with volume. Now, I don't care what chat room you're in, where you've come from, what room you're trading. I don't think there is anyone in this world that can actually spell it out step by step when to enter a trade, and especially on small cap. Okay, so now I want you to see how it worked out. All right, you ready? And here we go. And here it is. So now here's the stock. Remember I said it would small pop. There's the small pop through 7. See the small pop through 7? Then the pullback. Now the key ingredient is the curl to 680. See the 680 curl? Long it, 680, 690, and guess what happened? Stock ran all the way up to $7.90. Small cap, 1,000 shares. You made $1,000 on 1,000 shares by following how this was to be done. Really a wonderful trade. Okay, and the next trade that we're going to talk about, I do want to give credit to B Trades in this webinar. He did provide us a really nice trade to say. He caught this on scanner, ASNS. You could tell as it started to get gearing up, it was a chat room pump. I could tell right away. The minute he alerted the chat room at around 170 right here. Between 170 and 185 was his alert. And he has been staying the stock all day with everybody in the room. And he has walked it all the way up to $3. And so we want to definitely give credit to him on this particular trade since he spotted it out, cut it off as scanned. It's what makes B-Trade so special. And especially in this room, when we catch it, if we do like it, we tend to put a little bit of a notion on it. And B just kept on walking. We were walking Annie at the same time this was in play. So I stuck to Annie, B stuck to ASNS. So really nice. And I wanted to show you this because we get a lot of scan pops, but when we catch on one with volume that has some decent volume behind it, we like to play it as well. And this one was walked up. This was a little bit more, the market makers were a little bit more nasty, as we call it. You can see the polls were pretty aggressive, and these are shakeouts. And we had a shakeout earlier on Annie, but I tried to work traders through it. They were trying to shake out this morning on this pullback here. And I told traders, don't put your stops just under 7. I think the market makers will keep it above 7. We could probably get it to 8. And sure enough, every pullback got bought up, and it finally hit 8. And we did call 813 on it this morning. I did, at least. It was right here. I pulled up the chart, and I noticed that charting it out for traders where it would go. I looked, I believe it was here, and then the next one was here, then here, and then I believe I gave them up here. So really nice overall trade. Okay. So let's see. Let's go back to what we were doing. All right. The next trade we did was a stock called Save. Now, probably none of you like to trade airlines, but hey, now Save, let me tell you something. Shorts got punked on this one. It was a punk city. That's what we call a punk city trade. They got punked out. They didn't know guidance was going to be so much. When you have an airline that provides amazing guidance, like Save did, you're not coming down. You're going to get a few on the points, but the most important play is the open. And what you have to understand, when you have blowout guidance, which is really, really good, if you veterans out there that really want to learn this game, you have to. Have you ever seen me trade Goose? Have you ever seen me trade, name another stock, something that raises guidance? Oka, AAOI in the past. Whenever you get something that raises massive guidance, you're going to get a massive pop, regardless of the gap up. Write that down. You moderators that run chat rooms that are kind of newbie, write it down. Okay, it's the only way you're going to learn to be a leader. Okay, write it down to keep your subs happy. All right, so you have to anticipate a pop. And so what I did on this particular trade, I know we had a lot of people that wanted to short the stock, me included, but we had to pop it first. And so what I did is I told everyone, stop is gapping up 6. I want to short this today. However, let it rip at the open. Once the lower low set in, it will pull down. Okay, I wanted a little bit in the 52s, but obviously it didn't want to come down because the higher it went, obviously the more range that it would not come down to the downside. I did catch there were multiple price targets in the 60s, so I anticipated a move to 60 to 61, scale in, faded down. And it turned out to be a good winner for the room, as you can see. If you went long and took 250 shares with $11,000 buying power, you made 4 points at the opening bell, made $1,000 on your money. Once it topped off, you can see the lower low set in, as you can see right here. We anticipated. Once it broke this flag right here, there's a nice short. Stock came all the way down to here. Dark Side Trades in the room was calling down. He almost hit this to within 5 cents of his call. I was really impressed with that. Really nice fade, as you can tell. If you put 500 shares in it, 250 shares, just a nice downtrend. It was really, 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 really nice. Okay. I want to share with you a really interesting trade. A lot of you don't trade these type of plays, and you don't know how to read them. But there was an alert that came out that PCG, they were buying up, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, some December calls. We got the alert, and I'll show it to you. They were buying some, I believe, December 30 calls. Okay? December 30 calls. And I'll tell you why this is important. Okay? You see how we got the alert? And again, this is a scan that I will provide if you're an annual subscriber. I will pay for this for you. All right? So you see how the news came out? You see it? Aggressive call buying at $25 on December 28th and December 28th, 30 call buying. So they are buying massive calls at 30. All right? And they break it down. December 28th, 30 calls trading in multi-exchange sweeps for $30 to 30 to 35 cents. Nearly 2% changed hands. That is aggressive. So as a day trader trying to make a living on the anticipation of a movement of a stock, PCG is going to go higher. So what they did was the alert came in from the scan I caught, right? Here's the alert. I told everyone to start considering loading up. In my opinion, the stock would go to $27 a share. And I told everyone in the room, I'm confident we'll at least hit 27. We won't hit 30, not today, but we will hit 27. And if you stayed with the call, as you can see, it took a few hours. but PCG hit $27 a share. And this is just an intraday call, given in the morning, but it gave traders an opportunity to not have to sweat a trade, and they could just buy it and play the move on it. That's what we played. Okay. All right, let's do another one. So this one is PCG I wanted to make note of. All right, and let's see. I think I wanted to do one more before we stop it. And let's see, WB Square, decent sell-off to 63. Roku, I wanted to pop at the open. It goes to 39 level, bounce it. YY, I wanted to sell off to 64. I think it was NVIDIA and Netflix. Yeah, Netflix and NVIDIA. Okay. This morning, I actually tweeted out last night to a gentleman by the name of Serge. He's going to become an annual member. And Serge was watching my tweets last night because I play Netflix almost every day. I actually told everyone last night around, I don't know, 9 o'clock my time that the market was actually going to pull down. I figured it would probably gap down in the morning and then sell off at the open. And I was hoping for an aggressive sell-off if the market held the downturn. If not, then we were going to get a pop on it. And so I was short biased in the morning on the initial pop. And so I actually scored, I believe it was almost 2 points to the downside. And I'll show you the trade, how I worked it. Market was gapping down. Okay, so over 100 points. And you can see from yesterday's close, I anticipated a gap down. Here's the gap down. So what I did is I felt very confident that the stock would probably do a small pop. So I took some short here, pre-market, around 260, added on any pop, and I was looking for an aggressive pull down. And I actually covered, I believe it was around 257 and a tad under on a market order. I wanted 250, but I saw this pop right here, and I started to watch the market, and SPY was starting to get aggressive to the upside, so I got out of it. And then for the rest of the day, I've just been kind of scalping the trade because you can see it's very up and down. I did a live trade in the room over here as SPY was moving, and I caught about, I think it was 40 some odd cents here, 400 shares. I did it twice. So we love to scalp this, and we watch SPY. I'm going to show you a little trick. Whenever you're trading on Netflix, you need to keep up SPY next to you on it, especially when you're scalping during the day. Just have it next to you. A lot of you don't understand scalp trading, but this is, I learned this about 10 years ago. You just put SPY up and you watch it. And when SPY makes moves like this, you'll get the typical move in Netflix, like the same way. And usually what SPY will make its move first, and then you'll have to wait about 30 seconds, and you'll start to see Netflix start to make the move to follow SPY. And I basically trend trade it is what I do, and I scalp it. So in other words, when would be my next trade? If I saw SPY get up here, and pop up all the way up here, I'm going long Netflix, so I can take it to 270 a share, and I'll scalp it. And usually on this, I get aggressive 350 to 400 shares at a time. Okay, so all right, so that is today's lesson, and I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It was a nice session, and again, if you want to join our room, it is $25 for a day, $100 for a week. I do credit that right back to you, and if you join for a monthly is only $6.75 a day. And again, if you want to sign up on annual on December, I hope you do. I will pay for any scan. I will do Benzanga. I will do fly on the wall. I will do whatever it fits your needs. Trade ideas, briefing, newsware, and or if you want to go to another chat room. So anyway, other than that, I want to thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate, and I will see you tomorrow. Can't wait to do this in the morning. Get up at 4 o'clock every morning, and 2 hours before the market. I do the homework. I do the research, because you are the paying customer. You deserve the very best trades, the very best ideas, and I do my very best to keep you happy. All right? Make you money. That's all. That's the end result. Take care.